Oh my God. I'm happy for the rest of the day. You're asking if I would be up for hosting SNL in character as Nick Cage? Yeah. That would be the greatest week of my life.
Akiva, Andy, this is so exciting. I love the movie. Andy, you called it an avalanche of nostalgia deployed very thoughtfully and in very funny ways. So I want to know what you meant by that and how Akiva was able to balance this tone and animation, all the amazing attention to detail.
I have no idea when I said that, but it's a great quote. And so thank you for bringing it back to me. Feeling I'm swelling with pride at my own pull quote. It's a love letter to animation, and to the nostalgia of when we were young and beyond. There's like an R. Crumb character in the movie, for crying out loud. So it just was so clearly, immediately a really funny, fun, and different kind of movie. Like the only comp you could really bring up, I think, is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But the story is very different from that, and it's so much has happened in the world of movies and television since then that it was really fun, I think, to jump back into that genre.
Well said, Andy. I loved that. And I loved your other pull quote. I wonder where it's from.
I don't know. We're not gonna give whoever else printed it credit. This is
there's a chance you never said it and she just came in here hot making up a good thing.
I would have definitely fallen for it.
It was the EPK, of course.
EPK. I said it the EPK, dude.
It's in the clip package of EPK stuff. Got it.
Yeah.
The Lonely Island is known for their attention to detail. I actually rewatched The Unauthorized Bash Brothers over the weekend, and you guys referenced the 100 Kathy Ireland cutouts, and then here you have Roger Rabbit. You guys have Uncle Jesse in here. A lot of amazing cameos. Akiva, how did you go about crafting this hilarious and realistic Hollywood backstory with all these great references?
I mean, if it was 1990 and you were at the peak of TV fame, having a rap party, what would be the coolest people to be there? And clearly Roger Rabbit and then MC Scat Cat and Paula Abdul DJing. I just had to, think back to what the coolest thing would have been. And that's the coolest party there is.
That's fire. That was definitely our interests at that moment.
Exactly. And I also, this is smaller, but even in his trailer, like movie trailer before, in the scene previous, all the little shoes are like the shoes I wish I could afford back then. It's like little drawn. The animator said, what do you want in the trailer? I'm like, when you go in people's trailers, there's a few things happening. One is that there's old costumes on the wall that are actually from old Rescue Rangers episodes. So you can actually see like different wardrobe from real episodes. And then the shoes are like the Jordans from 1990, et cetera, but drawn little cartoon versions of them. So we got to live all our 1990 fantasies in there.
Yeah, I mean, it was woven together really, really well. And I also love KiKi Layne as Ellie. She is determined to prove herself. And she's really the only real human aside from your great Spielberg impression. In the movie, what made her the perfect choice to help lead the show in terms of the crime element?
I was a fan of hers from If Beale Street Could Talk. And then during production, I saw Coming to America just before she came and did the movie. And so I knew she was a great actress, but I didn't know anything that she'd want to do this. And so it was kind of a shot in the dark. We did a Zoom and she was just so excited and loved the idea of getting to work with, cartoons that aren't really there and experiencing that. And she just went into it with such enthusiasm and is so funny and talented. I was excited.
KiKi, congratulations. This movie is just so much fun. I laughed a lot and I actually paused a lot because some jokes were so detailed and so nuanced, and I absolutely loved your performance as Ellie. She is so determined to prove herself, but she's also such a big part and one of the only real human characters we see in this movie. How cool is it to have that honor?
I mean, it's incredible. It's something I'm so grateful for. I mean, it's a dream come true. When I watched the film and it starts off with that iconic Disney intro, and I literally had to pause it and just say, oh my goodness, I am in a Disney film. Like, what? And also to be a part of this film that celebrates so many of those, characters that we grew up with and love so much, and the journey that animation has gone on, and to know that I am a part of, leading that thing, and even being, a Black woman to be at the center of that. it all feels incredible.
You just really lead the way so well. And it's just a ton of fun to see you interact with people, even though I know that they weren't physically with you, but I heard that sometimes their voices were on set with you.
Okay, so it actually was Akiva's voice for a very long time. He didn't have Andy and John's recordings, like all of them available. So that was pretty funny. Thankfully, Akiva, his direction was just so precise. He was so clear about what was happening, you know, where Chip was, where Dale was, what the action was in the scene. And so even though we were using a lot of our imagination, and I mean, that's everyone that's on the set, because of Akiva's clarity, it didn't feel as kind of whimsical. It felt a lot more grounded. And that's also what the, you know, film is about, is these animated characters that we know and love, but really grounded in very real world circumstances.
Now, I don't know if you ever anticipated starring in a movie with almost every Disney animated character I can think of. Was there anyone that you were surprised you were going to share the screen with?
Pumbaa. The Lion King is like my favorite animated film of all time. And so to be able to say that I am in a film that features Pumbaa is very exciting for me.
That's wicked. Andy, Nicolas Cage gave you a really big compliment in GQ, saying that the ultimate honor would be for you to host SNL, as you know, the Get in the Cage version of himself.
Oh, wow.
Would that impression ever be something you'd want to revisit?
You're asking if I would be up for hosting SNL in character as Nick Cage? Yeah. That would be the greatest week of my life. I mean, there's no way Lauren will ever do it. But, you know, like they did that crazy episode with Francis Ford Coppola, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It's only been 35 years since then, probably.
Yeah. And I think it was a kind of disastrous episode. So I think we should do it. It would definitely be a first for somebody to host the show in character or in impression as someone else. When you imagine it, it's me as Nick Cage, but like in character as characters in sketches.
Unclear.
It
takes the two sides thing that you do, of course, as Hugh Jackman to a whole other level.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of good pulls.
Well, thank you for bringing that up too. Bash Brothers and that, I'm happy for the rest of the day. But Nick Cage, me doing Nick Cage, doing an impression in like an impression parade sketch, that really gets my juices flowing. That's something I have not seen before.
Yeah, so it's like Nick Cage as Christopher Walken. Or Nick Cage is like some sketch at a baseball game and he's the guy selling hot dogs, but it's Nick Cage being the hot dog vendor, not Yeah.
Works for me.
That was delightful. Thank you and congratulations. Really loved the movie and looking forward to the next Lonely Island concert. So thank you.
Awesome. Us too. Nice talking to you.
Thanks for watching Etalk. Make sure you hit subscribe for more celebrity interviews and entertainment news. And while you're here, why not watch another video? I know you want to.